tomorrow in the 10 versus 7 matchup in the Mountain West Women's Basketball Tournament, which is in Las Vegas. The women's tournament getting underway very soon, and got a chance to chat with Coach Ryan McCarthy earlier, and we recorded that interview, and we have it ready for you in this hour, so that's going to be joining us in about 15 minutes. A little Flashback Friday today as well. We haven't aired that Matt Entz interview again, so I want to air it again today. So if you missed my conversation about a week ago with head coach Matt Entz, Fresno State football, which, by the way, in 2 weeks' time starts their spring practices. So head coach Matt Entz, my conversation with him also coming up later in this show. Taking you all the way up to 5 o'clock today. Laker basketball later tonight. Lakers and Pacers, 7:15 pregame with a 7:30 tip-off there. And we got Sharks and Blues live on 790 from 6:30 pregame with a 7 p.m. puck drop as well. So got it all coming for you. Hope you're ready for a good show. Really jam-packed show today. Lots to talk about. World Baseball Classic underway. Mexico playing a game. USA playing later. Lakers dropping one to Denver. We'll talk about that. Fresno State baseball this weekend. Fresno State basketball this weekend. Sharks hockey, like I said. High school hoops this week as well. All the playoff action happening in the Central Valley right here, right now. Got our producer in for today's show, which is Jorge over behind the glass. He is always here on this Friday. Jorge, how are we doing on this Friday? Ready for that weekend? Looks like you're ready for that weekend. Just a couple hours away, huh?
Yeah, I need this weekend, man.
Yeah.
It's been quite a week.
Quite a week. Well, we got a very busy now with a lot of different things happening here. So we're putting in the energy here, getting ready to roll as we roll in here. But I know a lot of moving parts, and you've been juggling a lot of different jobs this past week. So this is your last one. Last duty,
yeah,
huh?
And it feels like next week's going to be like a little different, but at the same time, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels.
Well,
it's never going to end.
Jorge, get your sleep in, because remember, we get the spring forward this weekend. You're losing an hour of sleep this weekend, so get used to that, huh? So we're all going to get screwed up next Monday. Just completely royally screwed up next Monday when we all spring forward for that daylight. What happened to the government voting that out? Like, what happened to that? I'll vote for anyone who abolishes daylight savings.
Abolishes.
Right. That's my platform. I'll go for. This is the only political talk I'll get on the show is abolishing daylight savings. I want it gone, and I want us to just decide on the time. Arizona's got to figure it out, man. Arizona knows what they're doing. They sit in their damn time, and they know what time it is, and nobody out there is struggling to stay awake the first couple days when they come out of that spring forward situation.
Yeah, don't tell them what to do. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Arizona's got it all figured out, man. So, what are we really saving here? It's sunny all the time here, man. What are we saving? What daylight are we saving?
Farmers get to farm earlier.
I hear that doesn't even matter anymore. They got all those damn lights and those automation, like whatever, that was like a 1920 idea.
That is true. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
That's you know what? Next year's Ag Expo, I'm bringing up this issue. I'm bringing up, like, what the hell are we saving daylight for anymore? Like, everybody's got those nice lights and they got those automated tractors. Like, what does it matter? What does daylight matter anymore? I'm speaking of complete ignorance, and I'm sure someone out there sitting like he has no idea what he's talking about. And I'm telling you what, you may be affected by it, but here, me, the only effectiveness I have is me feeling real groggy next Monday. That's where Anyways, last night, got out to a high school basketball game, got a chance to go watch some state playoffs, just for fun. I had no duties last night. We weren't calling a game, so decided to head on out and pick one, and I ended up going to San Joaquin Memorial last night and watching the Panthers beat the Wood Creek School out of Roseville in overtime, Jorge, 60-57. Got a chance to hang out with Vance Wahlberg pretty much the entire game. So he allowed me to sit next to him, so that was a nice visit with him. And as they're on their way to Grand Canyon tonight, actually, they're on their way. They're going to play tomorrow. But what a game last night from San Joaquin Memorial, and they got the dub 60-57. What a great effort from those boys of Memorial. 5 guys scoring in double figures, which is just their core 5, man. They know what they're doing out there with what they got, and it was a tough battle between those Wood Creek team and them. So lots to be proud of. Lots to be proud of last night when it comes to the Central Section. So, Jorge, you ready to hear some Central Section scores from last night? Little rundown of some scores from the Central Valley?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, Open Division did not happen last night. St. Joe's moved on. So let me run through it here. Go through some of the winners last night. In D2, you had San Joaquin Memorial get a win over Wood Creek last night. Like I said, 60-57. And guess who they get to face tomorrow? It's a familiar opponent. Clovis West with another upset on the road. And they win going away 84-69 over University High out at San Francisco. So we get Clovis West and San Joaquin Memorial tomorrow at the gym at San Joaquin Memorial for a chance to head up to the regional final, which if Memorial wins, they're hosting that on Tuesday night. And that game will determine if they can go to the Golden One Center and face the Southern champion, which, by the way, you're seeing Bakersfield Christian continue to move along in through this bracket. Bakersfield Christian, the 3 seed, they advance over Christian. They won last night by 3. And now they get Carlsbad on Saturday. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Bakersfield Christian hosting 15-seeded Carlsbad. So Bakersfield Christian in some good position here moving forward. We'll see if they can get through to a regional final. And if we get that, we're potentially looking at like a Memorial or Clovis West versus Bakersfield Christian for a D2 state championship. Wouldn't that be something on the 14th of March? That would be something. What one could hope. D4, we had a winner last night. How about Tulare Union? Going away, 71-53, a winner over Valencia. So Tulare Union holds serve with the 1 seed. They end up going on, and now they are taking on Vasquez. Vasquez is a 12 seed. So Union 1 versus 12, but like we know with these seedings, sometimes they're a little deceptive. Shout out Kalinga. Kalinga, the Horned Toads. They get a win last night, and they really stomp out their opponent, Verdugo Hills. 55-33. They move on. They take on Roland. Roland ended up beating Orosi last night by 1. So Orosi falls on the road 41-40. So it's Kalinga and Roland in action as well. Just some other scores to acknowledge. Tescadero's season comes to an end. They lost by 6 on the road to Colony High. You had also Clovis High in a really tight battle in D2, losing to Oakland Tech last night, 69-67. So the Clovis Cougars on the boys' side falling. Sanger West, a tight one as well, 56-54, losing at Half Moon Bay. So tough way to lose there, but great season for Sanger West. And then the big one in overtime, Clovis North losing to Oakland, 77-75. Clovis North in that battle, but had a chance at the last shot, but could not get it to their basket. And so Clovis North last night, their season comes to an end in D1. And so the D1 representatives in the Central Section no longer playing their season. So that's the boys' results from last night. So should be a lot of fun. Some good local games. Tulare Union at home on Saturday. And you've got Kalinga at home on Saturday. And you've got San Joaquin Memorial at home on Saturday as well. And St. Joseph. No, they're on the road Saturday. Tomorrow against Harvard Westlake. So let's go to the girls real quick as well. And girls had some interesting results to say at least as well. Clovis High defeats St. Ignatius. They win over them. Where do I got that score? I'm looking for that score. 62-55. St. Ignatius with the winner there. They will take on Priori. Priori beat Clayton Valley Charter. Priori was that team that beat Emmanuel earlier in this playoff. So it's Clovis hosting Priori on Saturday night as well. You've got Central East still alive in the D1 playoffs as well. Central East, a winner over Piedmont. They go on the road and win 51-49. So the Grizzlies still going. They got St. Francis tomorrow, and St. Francis is a 7 seed. Central East is at 6 seed. So Central East gets a home game tomorrow on the girls' side. So you got Clovis girls in action tomorrow at home. Central East is at home tomorrow in the playoffs. D2, Sierra Pacific stays alive. They beat Folsom 66-57. They play another home game as they will host 6-seeded Wood Creek. So Sierra Pacific still rolling along. That championship pedigree should keep them rolling, and they will look to get to the regional finals if they get a win on Saturday. St. Joseph girls move on 60-52. They beat St. Marguerite's, and so they will have Rosary Academy, which is a 6 seed. St. Joe's, a 2 seed. St. Joe's is advancing. Also advancing, Tulare Union girls are moving on. They beat Kennedy High, and they are a winner 37-35. And so Tulare Union now taking on Godinas out of the 2 seed, Godinas Fundamentals. So that is going to be a road game for Tulare Union girls. That is them being the 3 and Godinas being the 2 seed. And that is what we have in the girls' side. Of course, also tomorrow, Clovis West awaiting their time to play their game. They host a game tomorrow at 7 p.m. against St. Mary's as well. And that is your championship rundown. Let's see if I had any other scores. I think only one team in the Central Section playoffs, or the Central Section lost last night in the girls' side. It was Foothill, lost to Laguna Hills 49-39. Did I say Rosamond? Rosamond got a win as well, 43-37. Rosamond moved on as they beat Patriot. And let's see where Rosamond's going to play on Saturday. Rosamond's got a home game against Laguna Hills. So there you go. All right. Lots of great action last night. Where were you last night? I hope you had some fun. I had some fun last night as well, and I'm sure a lot of people making some memories here. Where are you going tomorrow? We'd love to hear from you. 559-320-1430. If you're heading on the road, watch some girls or boys basketball. State playoffs just rolling along as well. So, all right. Just getting started on this show. Of course, lots of great conversation coming up, including a conversation with the head basketball coach of the women's Fresno State team here, Ryan McCarthy. He joins me next talking about the Mountain West tournament and all of this season and what it's encompassed. So stay with us. We're just getting started here behind the bench on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Fresno State baseball and their hard-hitting Diamond Dogs will be lighting up Pete Biden Field at Bob Bennett Stadium all season long. Right next door will be your Fresno State softball team at Margie Wright Diamond. The Bulldogs want your community support, and we all know Bulldog baseball and softball isn't the same without the Red Wave. Come out and support your Diamond Dogs as baseball and softball compete for another Mountain West championship. And remember, go Dogs.
And there it goes again. Yeah, our AC just tapped out.
I'm still traumatized from last summer. We were basically living in a toaster.
Yeah, we had every fan in the house on full blast. Still felt like 85 degrees. And that electric bill, I'm still recovering.
Not doing that again. Maria had her spring tune-up. Lee's Air cleaned her system, checked everything, and now it cools faster and uses less energy.
Yeah, she said it was only $99.
Plus, they gave her a 2-hour booking window. No waiting all day.
We're calling Lee's before summer turns this place into a sauna again.
Prep your home for a hot Central Valley summer with a $99 AC tune-up from Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Call 559-785-1212 or book at leesair.com.
CO number 635355.
AC Heat and Plumbing, you just call Lee's. It's easy as calling Lee's. Lee's AC, Lee's AC, Plumbing and Heat, yeah. Lee's AC.
Are you an athlete ready to level up your performance the raw way? Introducing the Raw Athlete Program from Raw Farm. High schoolers, college athletes, gym warriors, and pros, Raw Farm wants you to see why professional athletes and nutritionists are fueling up with Raw Farm raw whole milk to hit their team goals and personal gains. Raw Farm is the best 100% A2 cream top from seasonally grass-raised cows, non-GMO, certified humane, 100% made in America, and crafted for serious gains. Visit rawfarmsusa.com to learn more and find it at your local Sprouts location through the nation.
Citizens Business Bank is a proud sponsor of the Fresno State Bulldogs. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We proudly support California's thriving small to medium-sized businesses. Our relationship-based approach and straightforward business model set us apart in the financial services industry. We are a banking partner that understands your industry and your company. Whether you're expanding operations or planning for the future, Citizens Business Bank is here to help ensure your banking experience is smooth, convenient, and aligned with your success. My team strives to build long-term banking relationships by getting to personally know you and your business, and then providing you with a wide array of powerful solutions customized to your unique financial needs. Visit cbbank.com to learn how Citizens Business Bank can help contribute to your success. That's cbbank.com. Citizens Business Bank, N.A., Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This tax season, make your refund go further at Fashion Furniture. Get up to $250 instantly toward your furniture purchase. From living rooms to bedrooms, even new outdoor furniture for spring, now is the time to save. Make your tax refund go further with up to $250 in instant savings towards your purchase. Only at Fashion Furniture. There's nothing like it in all of California.
Jason Aldean. Songs About Us Tour 2026. Powered by Patriot Mobile. Saturday, August 15th, Save Mart Center. With Chase Matthew. And Mackenzie Carpenter. Jason Aldean. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com and LiveNation.com. Jason Aldean. Live.
McCarthy earlier. We, of course, schedules and everything like that. Teams are probably already on their way to Vegas as we speak. So wanted to get him on the show today. But, of course, how time and schedules work. We got to record some stuff sometimes. But this is your first time listening to this interview. This interview with Ryan McCarthy, of course, right ahead of this Mountain West tournament. Bulldogs 7 seed taking on Nevada. A lot of intrigue with this team, and the hope is that their momentum can shift in a tournament setting. So I won't waste any more time. My interview with Ryan McCarthy here on 1430 ESPN. All right, here on the Lee's Air Hotline, joining me now is a wonderful guest on this Friday. Good to have head coach of the Fresno State women's basketball team, Ryan McCarthy, here with me on the program. Ryan, I hope you're doing well. How are you doing on this this Friday afternoon?
It's been awesome. Yeah, we're enjoying it so far.
Certainly, and you are gearing up, of course, for your first Mountain West tournament. Of course, in your first year at the helm of Fresno State basketball. Before we go into what we're looking ahead at with this tournament, I just want to ask you, you've gone through a first year now with this Fresno State program, and how do you feel about how the season has gone so far? Maybe a little open-ended in the question to begin with, but what is the bird eye view of how you experienced year one at Fresno State?
Yeah, it's been great. We've really enjoyed, just being able to kind of put a team together, first year, and I think that this group has kind of maxed out with what we've had to go through this year in terms of just a myriad of injuries, and right now a roster of 8 to 9 healthy players. But I think that this group has kind of maxed what their potential has been so far. And, you know, we've had a couple really good wins that have been good for the program and moving forward. But I think overall, just, you know, we have a team that has really come together and set a culture that I think can sustain itself here at Fresno State, which I think is, you know, our number one goal as we took this job.
Yeah, of course, and year one is that kind of culture setting opportunity, right? And you mentioned a couple wins that you could pinpoint that has allowed you to feel like those women have embraced that. What are those wins you were talking about there when you with the games you're mentioning that feel like those were good pinpoint moments for this season?
You know, I think the one that comes to my, you know, the top of the list is definitely our win against Boise State. And, you know, that was a team that had 4 1,000-point scorers, which is super rare, you know, in this day and age especially. And, you know, they were sitting at number 2. I think they're in some sort of logjam there at the 2 spot here in our league. And so, you know, that was a really big turning point, I think, for us. We ended up, I think, winning 4 or 5 games in a row during that stretch, and they were one of them. And I just think settling into this league, I think another one would have been Wyoming at the very beginning of the year. You know, we had 5 Division II transfers, and 3 of them were healthy at the time. And then a bunch of girls, or 3 girls that really played reserve roles at Fresno last year. And so when we beat Wyoming, it was kind of like, you know, the kids that played in that game, I think there was a total of 8 returning minutes in that game. And they all kind of came together and acted like they won the national championship. And we ended up, you know, started off in the league that way. So, you know, I'm just really proud of them. And, you know, I think they proved a lot of people wrong. I think we were preseason pick number 9, and, you know, we're sitting at the 7th seed with a couple big wins like that. So we're pretty pleased. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's been the stretches, right, that you try to hold on to with the ups and downs and how things have gone. But, you know, it's fascinating you mentioned with the players that have had to step up in this season for you, right? Because as you mentioned, you're kind of down to a limited little bit of a roster, but you're not going to make excuses for that. But with the players that have had to step up in those spots, what has stood out to you about their ability to be in those moments?
Yeah, I think what's, you know, their resiliency. You know, I mean, you know, as we talk about the injuries, you know, that's just part of the game. And, you know, you know, I think every team goes through at least some sort of deal like that, you know. And some of the ladies that have really stepped up, you know, for us are our 2 captains, and Amelia Long and Jasa Gamble. You know, they have the hardest assignment every night. You know, we put them on the 2 best players, and Jasa guards the best player regardless of position. You know, she's guarded Meadow Rowland, who's a post at UNLV, to, you know, point guards, or, you know, the best wing player like Pananiban from San Diego State, you know. So those 2 ladies. And then I think, like, of the returning Fresno players, Danae Powell has been a really big impact for us and has just really improved her game as we've moved along this season. And I think she's playing her best basketball right now.
Yeah, you've hit a lot of players, you know. Amelia, of course, being the highlighter as far as the scoring options, and I know scoring comes with you know, the great defense, and we hear about the mayhem at the beginning of the season. You know, how have you seen the players embrace that phrase, that ideology when it comes to specifically on the defensive end for you all?
Well, I think that's, you know, one of the reasons we've had some success in this league. And, you know, if you look at the other first-year programs, like, you know, for example, San Jose State, you know, we have an identity, right? Like, I think the girls have embraced that. And opening up with, you know, Wyoming and holding them to 38 points in a league game, you know, that's really hard to do. And I think a lot of that's just been our defensive intensity. And, you know, I think that, you know, if we did have a little bit deeper of a bench, or, you know, had some more healthy players on the roster, we'd be able to press and turn that up even more. But I'm pretty sure we're, you know, top 1 or 2 in steals and turnover margin, and, you know, the things that system creates. And it's been a huge reason for us to be in these ball games.
Yeah, so because you don't want to change exactly what you have to do, but then you have to be smart with the roster, like you said. So as a coach, when do you pick and choose when to push it and when to pull back? Because I know you obviously want to push it as much as you can, but how difficult is that throughout the game, and where you pick your spots?
Yeah, I think, when you do have a full roster, you're playing more of like a chess match. You're 7 players in and out and trying to keep bodies, fresh, and you can mix up your presses and your defenses. When you're kind of this year, we're not playing chess, we're playing poker. This is a hand that we've been dealt, and we got to try to play it as best as we can. And so, if the game gets, we feel like there's some sort of run the other team's making, or we feel that there's a time in the game where it's necessary to change what the tempo is, whether to slow them down or to speed them up, we can implement, some of our presses. And the good thing is we started out the year learning those, and that's, we always have those in our back pocket, so it's not something that we're just drawing up in the sand out of a timeout.
So when you get to the rigors of a tournament, and you obviously hope to be playing multiple days there in Vegas, does the approach change for you, knowing that it's days in a row now of potential games, and you have to weather that as a coach? Like, how do you approach this tournament coming up?
Well, I think the first thing is you just kind of, we talked to the ladies about, when we're in tournament play, it's just kind of all hands on deck every day. We don't want to think too far ahead and, start thinking about what the championship game is going to look like or what the second round is going to look like. We're all hands on deck on one-game winning streaks, right?
Right.
And where we're at, we got to go. We have to go on 4 one-game winning streaks to win a championship, and so that's kind of what we're focused on right now. Is just what it's going to take to beat Nevada, whatever happens in that game, and be prepared to press or get pressed. Be prepared to be zoned or something different. Since this is our 3rd time playing, and so we have deep experience in tournament play. I would imagine that our staff probably has more experience than most of those staffs in terms of NCAA tournament. What that looks like, getting ready for the next game, and all that kind of stuff. So we're fairly confident going into this, and just knowing that hey, it's a one-game winning streak. We don't need to be thinking about day 2 until we get past day 1.
Well, yeah, and I think as the players, you want them focusing that short term as much as possible. And for you as a coach, it has to be a little bit of, managing that. But, when you face an opponent for the 3rd time, and sometimes beating them for a 3rd time is a difficult task in itself. You play Nevada, you beat them twice. How difficult do you think the challenge will be, since you got to beat them a 3rd time? What stands out about this draw with them? You being the 7, them being the 10 in this game.
Yeah, I think Nevada's been in like most of their ball games with everyone. They've been very consistent with kind of what a ball game looks like with them, and for us, it's always just been about on the defensive end, making sure that we get stops, and we're a little bit limited offensively, so our best offense is our defense, and we want to make sure that we take them out of their stuff, blow up their sets, and try to get the game in transition, because that's when we're at our most efficient. And the first 2 games that we won, we were able to do just that. So, our big thing, I think, in the tournament play is going to be staying out of foul trouble. If we get into foul trouble, it changes, how we approach our execution on both sides of the ball. So if we can stay out of foul trouble and, we do what we do, I think, we have as good of a chance to win. Those percentages go way up, I guess I should say.
How do you do the foul trouble? How do you get out of the foul trouble, of course, but staying aggressive? It's such a balance, right, as a coach, to try to implore your players to be aggressive defensively, but it's got to be a balance, right? So how do you do that in a game like this, like you say, with the foul trouble issue?
I think it takes a tremendous amount of focus on the scouting report, on each player individually. And, if you're able to kind of take some things away, you neutralize maybe how effective they are. And when you do that, good players are good at getting fouled, or, people that are really good at going to their right hand, or, whatever. If we can take those things away, we eliminate those opportunities, or really substantially decrease the percentage that we end up with making silly mistakes on defense. So that's an area that we're just really focusing on this week.
And so is that kind of what this team has been living and dying by a little bit this year with that? Is that why you mentioned that as the focus? Is when the team has that issue, sometimes it doesn't go the way, and then the other way, the flip side, is that something you feel like has been the kind of the primary focus of how the games have gone this year?
Yeah, I think if you look at our roster, I would challenge you to find another one with 5 Division II transfers,
right,
and not one kid that started at a Division I school, right? And so I don't even think San Jose State has that. And so we have, we had 5 kids that came with us from UAA. The best one, which got hurt 6 games into the season, and we have this roster of players that every game that we win on paper is an upset. And we've been able to do that quite a few times this year, and that's taken a lot of focus and preparation, to be able to take teams out of their stuff and to, put ourselves in the best position to win. And I think that goes up. That focus needs to go up the higher level of competition that you get into. You get into like the top 4 or 5 teams in this league, and it's definitely a level above than, I would say, like that bottom half. So we've been able to do well against that bottom half, and we have, shown that we can do it. But it's that's hard for a 20-year-old to sit there and know their scouting report like they know the Bible.
Yeah.
And that's what we're asking them to do every single night. So I think in tournament play, it's probably a little bit easier because your season's on the line, or if you're a senior, that your career's on the line. So I'm excited to see what that's all going to look like here in the next couple of days.
And just kind of looking at like the performances over the last week, I know that on paper the 4-game losing streak doesn't sit with UL, but a tight game with that San Diego State team, right? And of course, if you get past this Nevada team, you have that UNLV squad that you played a couple weeks ago, and there's some familiarity with that side of the bracket. But do you take anything away from, even though you've been limited in that side of things, but with the injuries, but you've seen your team fight in games, specifically I think at that San Diego State game when we know San Diego State is that top dog right now?
Yeah, we with all the things that I say about how every game's an upset, we also take a lot of pride in that. We take a lot of pride in being the underdog and kind of piecing a roster together here at the last second and all that kind of stuff. But I think our ladies really take pride in fighting until the bitter end and showing just like that pride that we have in representing who we are, and I think that it's one of the reasons our attendance has gone up, throughout the year. I think that it's one of the reasons why, we have a culture that I think can sustain itself because of this group showing what future Bulldog teams, like what the expectation is. You're going to give your very best effort every single game, no matter the circumstance, no matter the score, no matter if you're sick or whatever it is. So I think that's been a really big calling card for us this year. And, I think it can be something that, sometimes that's the glass slipper that Cinderella needs.
Is that that underdog mentality a spoken thing or an unspoken thing throughout the season?
I think it's spoken. We've told them, what they are. This is who we are. Like, if you look at this roster compared to this roster, this is where we're at. And we can sit here and feel sorry for ourselves, and we can make excuses and all this kind of stuff. And, hey, just put a team together that's going to win 2 or 3 games, or we can fight this and be better than a ninth-place team and, go out there and, prove a lot of people wrong. And, I think on a lot of nights this group has been able to do that.
So practices, you guys, when do you fly out to Vegas? You guys head out, it's Friday right now, so is it, your guys are on your way pretty soon here?
Yeah, we fly out today.
There you go. So you're on your way, and you're going to be in Vegas and get used to that arena, right? First time you've been at Thomas and Mack, right? So got to get used to that. Well, no, you were there UNLV game, right? So
yeah, well, the ladies play in Cox. So,
oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, right next door to it. So, yeah, it'll be our first time in that particular.
Yeah, they changed it up on me. Last time I was there, it was 10 years ago. They had it all in the same arena. So, going to be interesting to get are you going to implore the shoot around aspect of it and get the ladies ready and used to that gym, right? When you don't see a gym for the first time, right? Is there a lot of stock or importance into taking that time to get used to the arena and the sight lines?
I think sometimes from like a depth perception when you're shooting, like where the lights are, sometimes you can go to Boise State, you're looking into like the sun if you shoot a corner three, some of those things. But like, our mentality is, we'll play you on Mars. Like I don't really care who you are. Like
right.
We're gonna bring the fight to you and we're gonna bring it. So shoot, if they want to go play out in the street in North Las Vegas, we'll do that.
Wouldn't be too bad of an idea. 5 p.m. Saturday. That's tomorrow. 5 p.m. You like the primetime slot, I'm sure, to just kind of, or maybe you're just eager to get going. You maybe wish you had that 12 p.m. slot. I don't know. I don't know what your preference was, but you like the 5 p.m. slot and getting ready for this game?
I do, yeah. It gives us time to, prepare, go over game, film a little bit more, and, just kind of enjoy the experience of getting to be in the tournament and, letting the seniors kind of soak that all in. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. I hope we get a good crowd.
All right, Coach. Well, I'll let you go. I know you're going to be busy. So, excited to see your run through the tournament. Great job on a great first season, and we'll catch up soon, all right?
Thanks so much.
All right, head coach Ryan McCarthy here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
At Helena Agri Enterprises, we're committed to helping you make the best agronomic decisions for your farm. That's why we combine cutting-edge technology with superior products. Helena's Agri-Intelligence program uses in-depth analysis to identify potential problems in the field before they take root. Combined with a complete line of high-quality crop production and crop protection inputs, Helena has the tools to help you increase productivity, enhance performance, and maximize your return on investment. Contact your local Helena representative or authorized dealer to create the right plan for your farm with Helena products and Agri-Intelligence.
Introducing The Sidebar, a brand new open-air beer garden at Me and Ed's Coney Island Grill in River Park. Experience a new way to catch a game, hang with friends, and enjoy new appetizers, char-grilled burgers, salads, wings with over 10 house-made sauces, and of course, world-famous Me and Ed's pizza. Thirsty? Try our self-poured taps with over a dozen craft beers, wines, ciders, and craft seltzers. Plus a full bar with an impressive selection of tequilas, whiskeys, and craft cocktails. The Sidebar at Me and Ed's Coney Island Grill, now open in River Park.
The weather in Fresno is, well, crazy. 31 degrees one day, 71 the next. We're famous for going from winter to summer in the blink of an eye. And you know what that means? It's time to have your air conditioner serviced. Regular AC maintenance doesn't cost. It's an investment that pays. For 56 years, Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning has provided trusted HVAC service to the Central Valley. Annual checkups keep your system running smoothly and help prevent costly repairs. The specialists at Donald P. Dick can locate problems early, saving you money and stress. Sign up for our Super Saver program. It's just a few bucks a month. You'll get 15% off repairs and 2 professional tune-ups a year to keep your efficiency up and your PG&E bill down. For fast, reliable service and over 5 decades of experience, call Mr. Cool at 559-255-1644. That's Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning at 255-1644.
This Saturday night, it's Winter Go Home. Your Fresno City College women's basketball team is hosting Santa Rosa Junior College in the 3rd round of the playoffs. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m., and the Rams are ready to defend their home court. They've battled all season for this moment. Now they need you behind them. Bring the family, wear your red, and be loud. 3rd round playoff action. Fresno City College versus Santa Rosa Junior College. Saturday at 7 p.m. Be there. Be loud. Let's protect the house. Go Rams!
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payments? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus payments even if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. Visit ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Sponsored by SSA.
The one thing I love about spring is it's time for the new golf clubs. They're here. Are you ready to upgrade your golf game? The new clubs have arrived at Roger Dunn, and they're game changers. Check out the new Quantum from Callaway or the QI4D from TaylorMade, plus the latest release from Ping, Titleist, and Cobra Golf. Come in, get professionally fit, and find out which clubs are built for you and your swing. The good weather's coming, and remember, you're always number one at Roger Dunn.
Cyber criminals stole $10 trillion from U.S. businesses last year. Did you know that 75% of businesses hit with ransomware do not survive? Is your company protected? Could your company survive a real-time cyber attack? Get a free consultation from M-Cubed Technologies today. Our team of cyber professionals are here to help and protect you from this real threat. Don't fall victim to cybercrime and risk losing your business. Contact M-Cubed Technologies today at mcubedtechnologies.com.
ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. Should have had Jason Aldean coming into this segment, Jorge. Come on. It's all right, because we're going to be giving away Jason Aldean tickets right now. First of all, big thanks to Ryan McCarthy for joining us in the last segment. Good luck to the ladies Bulldogs basketball team. All right, you want Jason Aldean tickets? You want to call in right now here on our Lee's Air hotline, 559-320-1430. If you call in, you're the lucky caller. We will have a game for you to play on air. So 559-320-1430, and it looks like we have a caller already.
Hello? Hello? Hi, I was trying to call for the contest. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? I was calling for the tickets. No. Okay, I still love you. I love you, Jorge. Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah, hello? Yes. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. No problem.
Hi, this is Madison. I'm calling because of the Jason Aldean tickets.
She's 3 for 3. Madison a winner here on 1430 ESPN. Congratulations. You're going to the Jason Aldean concert. 2 tickets to you. We'll get your information. Congratulations, and thanks for calling in on the 1430.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to go.
There you go. Madison here on 1430 ESPN getting the Jason Aldean tickets. So congratulations. All right, Jorge, get her information for us. We'll get her connected with our folks to the ticketing office. All right. So big congrats to Madison there. Thanks for all the callers. We had a lot of folks coming in, calling in on this Friday night. Maybe we'll do another giveaway next week. Who knows? I'm feeling gracious.
Yeah. She called first, and then I had to answer a bunch of other calls, and I was like, "Oh man, I feel bad. I felt like, I don't know why."
Well, they were going off the hook. I could hear them in the background on all of that. So a lot of people were listening. I'll tell you what, though, if you listen next week, we could be giving away some more. So you want to be listening to Behind the Bench, and those are the kind of opportunities you've given getting some tickets. Jason Aldean next week, next Saturday. That'll be a lot of fun. Of course, by the way, folks, we are a Giant station. Giants tickets could certainly be around the corner. You know, we have a lot of Fresno State tickets around the corner as well. So a lot of different opportunities. Shark tickets, maybe. Hey, those Sharks are hot, huh? So a lot of different giveaways there. All right. Jorge, we got a couple minutes here before the end of the hour. Excited about the Fresno State women's team getting ready to go to Vegas this weekend. They're actually probably on their way right now. So we had to talk to head coach Ryan McCarthy. But I do get a little sentimental right now, Jorge. I'm getting a little sentimental because it's the last Mountain West tournament Fresno State will ever play. And for the years of 2012 to 2026, it's been quite an era of basketball at the Mountain West tournament, Jorge. Are you going to miss the Mountain West tournament, this being the last year of the Mountain West basketball tournament that Fresno State will play?
Nah, not really.
No, not nostalgic at all?
No. I mean, if we were going somewhere else, I'd be like, yeah, maybe. But we're going to the Pac-12, so.
I know. Okay, you move on easily, don't you? You move on easy. There's some memories. I have memories, right? You don't have any sort of sentimental value to, when Fresno State women's basketball was kind of dominating the early part of the Mountain West, right? That 2012 team, 2013 making the NCAA tournament, right? I remember those days.
Okay, maybe those were the good
Or how about
days,
2016 men's basketball? Making it to a Mountain West championship and winning that thing over San Diego State. Big bad San Diego State with Steve Fisher.
True.
Coaching.
I don't know. It just feels like there wasn't many ups.
Yeah, I get that. No.
But I do have, I do remember the good times that we had there.
All right. You're just not as sentimental as me. I just love the atmosphere. I've been to one tournament. I've been one week tournament, 2016 time, and both teams ended up making it to the championship that year. It was quite a time to be there. At a certain point, after 5 days in Vegas, you start to run out of things to do in Vegas. Actually, 5 days is quite a lot. After 3 days, I think I run out of things I need to do in Vegas, Jorge. Vegas is a weekend town, not a week town. You know what I mean? And even though we're going to be seeing Vegas again next year, I believe the Mountain West tournament for the Pac-12 is going to be in some location in Vegas. I think that's been hammered out. Maybe I'm misremembering something. I'm pretty sure that's reported, right? You're staring at me. You're not helping me.
I think they were saying Vegas, but at the same time, they weren't sure if it was. Maybe they'll take it to LA or something. But,
yeah.
But they were. Yeah, there's a lot of talks.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's locked in for Vegas next year. I'm pretty sure it's locked in. I think they went to the MGM. I think they locked in the MGM.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I believe you.
You're just staring at me like I have a third eye on my forehead.
I remember them saying that they were trying to move somewhere else.
Right.
But at the same time, they were like super happy that they had Vegas.
Right.
And I was like, well, why are you trying to move somewhere else? Like, we'll just make the tournament there.
True. I don't know. Vegas is such a fun destination for a weekend. Maybe for a week it's a little long, but I think the Fresno fans love there's so many people here that travel to Vegas. It's not
Yeah.
even funny. Like how many people fly in and out of Vegas from here, just as like a little weekend getaway.
Well, it's not a bad trip. From
Even
here.
our own Joe Gomez makes it happen.
Yeah.
Every year. To Las
Gonna be
Vegas.
out there.
Yeah. You're gonna miss him. He's gonna be gone in a couple weeks.
He'll be back.
Oh yeah, I know. He'll be back richer or poorer, and he won't care. He will not care. Okay. Hey, by the way, the World Baseball Classic got started today, and we got a lot to talk about. Mexico was in a battle with the great Brits.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get into that. I don't want to spoil our conversation on it yet, but a lot of conversation around that. USA playing in just a little over an hour, and maybe we'll get into some Laker talk. Also, our Flashback Friday interview, all that coming up here in the next hour of Behind the Bench, getting you set for a wonderful weekend here in the Central Valley. Stay with us, hour number 2, coming up next on 1430.
Get your business noticed and stand out from the crowd by visiting MegaPrints. Working with the Valley's most prestigious and high-profile businesses since 1998, we print and install custom-designed signs for businesses of all types and sizes. From yard signs to banners to wallpaper and fleet graphics, MegaPrints has the state-of-the-art capability to turn the signage you've dreamed of into a reality. Visit megaprints.com today to see our work and what we can do for your business.
More flavor, more rewards, more reasons to dine with Lynn's Restaurant Group. Introducing the LRG Elite program. Members earn 5 times back every time they dine at Spicy J's, J-Pot, Oiza, Hino Oishi, Ramen Hayashi, Lynn's Fusion, Ichi, Shabu, and JT. Enjoy one free appetizer or dessert every day, a birthday bonus, and a members-only anniversary reward. Join for just $18 a month or only $198 annually plus tax. Sign up in-store on the Lynn's Restaurant Group app. LRG Elite. Dining elevated. Terms apply.
Citrus season is in full swing. When harvest pressure is on, Kubota delivers dependable power, easy operation, and the performance growers rely on in the Grove. There's still time to get the right tractor this season at Pioneer Equipment, your authorized Kubota dealer. With Fresno and Reedley locations, Pioneer Equipment, your authorized Kubota dealer, has the equipment, parts, and service you need when timing matters most. Make this citrus season count. Visit Pioneer Equipment, your authorized Kubota dealer today at pioneerequipmentca.com.
Fresno State Baseball and their hard-hitting Diamond Dogs will be lighting up Pete Biden Field at Bob Bennett Stadium all season long. Right next door will be your Fresno State softball team at Margie Wright Diamond. The Bulldogs want your community support, and we all know Bulldog baseball and softball isn't the same without the Red Wave. Come out and support your Diamond Dogs as baseball and softball compete for another Mountain West championship. And remember, go Dogs!
The one thing I love about spring is it's time for the new golf clubs. They're here. Are you ready to upgrade your golf game? The new clubs have arrived at Roger Dunn, and they're game changers. Check out the new Quantum from Callaway or the QI4D from TaylorMade, plus the latest release from Ping, Titleist, and Cobra Golf. Come in, get professionally fit, and find out which clubs are built for you and your swing. The good weather's coming, and remember, you're always number one at Roger Dunn.
Horn Barbecue is now open in Fresno's Granite Park, and it's time to eat. From Bay Area legend and Michelin award-winning pitmaster Matt Horn comes slow smoked brisket, tender ribs, and bold West Coast barbecue done right. Bring the family, call the crew, come hungry. And here's a good reason to come down. Visit hornbarbecue.com and redeem $20 off your $50 and up purchase. Limited time only. Horn Barbecue, now open on Cedar between Ashland and Dakota in Fresno. Real smoke, real flavor, right now.
The Central Valley Sports Leader has you covered for the local angle with the Central Valley Sports Report hosted by Paul Meadors. Paul is back for year 5 and is ready to give you the insight and knowledge of everything you need to know when it comes to high school sports. From the coaches and player interviews to the game recaps week by week, as well as talking with all the insiders that have the pulse when it comes to prep sports in the Central Valley. Central Valley Sports Report, airing 10 a.m. to noon, live from First String Sports every Saturday on 1430 ESPN Fresno.
When you think of California business machines, it wouldn't surprise me if you automatically thought 3-cent color copies. It's something CBM has become locally famous for. But now there's something else business owners are calling about: business phone systems. It's a beautiful thing. Copiers, printers, office phone systems, all with one simple call to California Business Machines. 559-225-5570 or online at cbmsolution.com.
Your home for high school sports. 1430 ESPN, the Valley's local sports leader. KFIG Fresno.
Starting tonight with Boston hosting Dallas. Tatum coming back less than 10 months after tearing his right Achilles in last year's East semifinals. ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins.
Jason Tatum is only going to add to this situation, which is scary, which is why I always say this is the most dangerous team in the entire league, because they're a legit title contender with Jason Tatum, and now they have zero expectations, to be honest with you. They're playing without his money.
And you can watch the return of Jason Tatum for the Celtics against the Mavericks on ESPN and tipping off shortly. The Houston Texans have released running 13-0 rout of Chinese Taipei in their first game of the Classic. Mexico with an 8-2 victory over Great Britain. Rays first baseman Jonathan Aranda with a 3-run homer. Team USA plays their first game tonight facing Brazil. NHL trade deadline was today. The Islanders with a big move. They acquire Blues captain and center Braden Shen, veteran forward Jonathan Drouin, picks and prospects. The Lightning get veteran right winger Corey Perry from the Kings for a second-round pick. Perry played for Tampa Bay from 2021 through 23.
Hey, it's Chris Candy coming up Monday from the NBA to college basketball. I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
He's got the knowledge.
Because once again, I have to come on there and talk about how right I am once again in anything that it comes to sports.
He's got the questions.
I'm going to lose it. Are you kidding me? What are we doing here?
He's got the guests.
20th head coach in Fresno State history here, Matt. Is it hard to believe sometimes still the 20th head coach here in program history?
It's all moved really quickly here over the course of the last 5-6 weeks, but super excited to be here.
Phil Bonatti is the voice for the Central Valley sports leader. Behind the Bench starts now. Brought to you by Helena Agri.
That's right. Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader, here on this Friday at 4 o'clock. Hope you're doing well and excited for the weekend. I'm sure you all are. I'm sure you all are thrilled to get to your weekend. Some of you just an hour left. Some of you probably just quit early. I know you are. You're out there. That's fine. That's great. Love that. Love that empowerment for you, huh? Anyways, we're here and getting you set for a weekend of sports. Some breaking news. Not breaking news, just a little more developing news here. Jackson Moore just tweeted something interesting here in the last 8 minutes or so. You just listened to Jackson Moore on Tony D's show about an hour ago, right? According to sources, Jackson Moore tweeted, former Fresno State head men's basketball coach Rodney Terry is a top candidate for the Oregon State job in men's basketball. And that can feel significant because guess who Fresno State joins a conference with next year is Oregon State. So could be a legitimate chance you could have former Fresno State head coach in the building at the St. Martin Center next year, battling in a conference game against Fresno State. Oregon State head coach, potentially, Rodney Terry. He is a top candidate for that job. So interesting developments there. Of course, no need to remind you folks that Rodney Terry era was a moderately successful one, although more often than not successful one when comparing it to other eras Fresno State basketball, of course, making it to an NCAA tournament. First guy since Tark to do that. 126 and 108 record for Rodney Terry over the 7 seasons yielded him a job at UTEP. And then, of course, went to Texas, where he at Texas took over for a job on an interim basis, brought that Texas Longhorn team to a really prominent position in that, I believe it was the 22 NCAA tournament, where they made it all the way to the Elite Eight, I believe, before falling in that tournament. But a very prominent figure in basketball, and it could be interesting if he ends up taking that job at Oregon State. All right. We have World Baseball Classic happening right now, and so we have some games that have wrapped up. We have another game coming up between the United States and Brazil. But we have some finals here today, and I woke up with my Twitter feed open, as I always do, as I'm sure everyone in the world does, or folks who are locked in. Japan with a 13-0 win over Taipei, and Shohei Ohtani, of course, hitting a grand slam in Japan's victory. Yamamoto, just absolutely stellar in his start as well, so you got to feel good for them. So Japan is looking like the juggernaut that they are. Cuba gets a win over Panama, 3-1 in their victory. Venezuela wins 6-2 over the Netherlands today. And Mexico, it was close for a very long time, and then they blew it open in the 8th inning. Mexico wins 8-2 over Great Britain, including a home run from Jonathan Aranda. I know Carlos Narvaez also hit a home run for Mexico as well, and it was well on their way to a victory over the Brits. So, Jorge, any takeaways from Mexico's victory today? 8-2. You hyped up for Mexico baseball and their victory 8-2 over Great Britain, or they did what they needed to do?
I feel like they did what they needed to do, but I also feel like they were missing something, like maybe just jitters of the first, being in the first,
right,
game, and
7 runs in the last 2 innings ain't gonna probably make you feel a little bit better, but
yeah. I mean, they have a good, good bats. I feel like they should have been, they should have hit something earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they won. So
yeah,
and it felt good. It felt like a good win for them, and this is gonna do great for them as a
good start.
Emotionally,
good start. Right, they came off that 3rd place finish last year. I think when they beat Venezuela. No, they beat Netherlands last year in the 3rd place game. Or last time. 2023. They ended up finishing in 3rd. Mexico tomorrow does not play. So looking for their next matchup, Mexico will play Brazil at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So you locking in for Mexico v. Brazil?
Let's go Brazil. See what Brazil has.
It feels like the flip in terms of talent, like Brazil versus Mexico in baseball, like in the soccer. Like if Mexico and Brazil matched up in soccer, you'd be like, oh boy.
I'd be nervous.
A little nervous. Yeah. Puerto Rico and Colombia are playing right now, and they're at a no-score lock right now in the 4th inning, and that's in the DR they're playing. Also warming up today is Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic pretty strong favorites in that one. And then later today, you've got Brazil taking on the United States. That's literally in an hour. Logan Webb going on the dish on the rubber tonight. Feeling excited about Logan Webb being the guy that gets things going for the United States tonight against the Brazil?
Yeah, I feel good.
Captain America Logan Webb.
Yeah, he's. I mean, from last time that I saw him pitch against the Giants.
Yeah.
That felt good.
How long are starters going in these games? I'm just curious. So I don't have a. I'm trying to find a box score. How far do you go?
For this one, I think it's a full. I mean, if he could go full game, I think they'll give him full game because they got more.
Well, Japan went 2 2/3 innings with Yamamoto. and they kind of just did a little bullpen game after that.
I know Mexico went, 3, 4?
Yeah, checking here on the starter, who for Mexico was Javier Assad, and he went 3 2/3 innings, just under 4
Under
innings.
4?
Yeah, for Team Mexico. So, wow, you guys pitched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players today for Mexico. 8 pitchers used.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see the pitchers go far. This is kind of pseudo spring training. So Logan Webb, 4 innings today. I think that's what his max out should be. He'll want to go 5.
Yeah.
He'll want that decision, right? But
is it the rule different in
I don't know. I have no idea what the rules are as course as that. But we get some new teams in. By the way, tonight you also have Czechia taking on Taipei, which is just funny because Taipei played at 2 a.m. this morning, and now they're going to play a game at 10 p.m. at night tonight for us. But it's 2 different days in Japan. So yeah, they're flipping it around. Do you see the viral clip of the Czechia player going up to the Australian player trying to shake his hand? The batter went up to the Australian catcher, tried to shake his hand, and the catcher said, Nah, I'm not.
Really?
We're not doing that. And then the Czechia player was like, okay. And then they got up into the batter's box and played ball. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
Australia ended up winning 5-1 over Czechia in that game. So would you shake the guy's hand? Your opponent in a World Baseball Classic, would you shake the hand before the game?
I would.
Yeah?
I mean, it's not like we got bad blood.
Right?
You know, if it was Mexico against Canada, I probably wouldn't.
Mexico versus USA, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah?
You know, Mexico, Brazil, probably. Like,
yeah.
If it was the first one, if it's like halfway through the game, I probably wouldn't.
3 years ago, I remember Will Smith snubbing somebody for a handshake. I'm pretty sure it was Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I have to check the viral clip because it's not the first time we've seen a catcher say, "Nah, I'm all right. We're competitors now. We don't need to feel good about it."
A bump, a fist bump.
A fist bump. Yeah, nothing.
And nothing happened.
Yeah, and it was like, all right, here we go. Game on, huh?
I think they played together, didn't they? No.
Yeah. Tomorrow, United States has Great Britain at 5 p.m. Scooball is going to pitch his 1 game. That's it. So we'll see how far he can go. And then on Sunday, no United States game. They get a little bit of a break. It's Monday. They're back in town. And Monday is the game. Monday is the game of games that a lot of people will be paying attention to because, Jorge, 5 p.m. Monday, Mexico, United States, Paul Skeens against TBD for Mexico.
Paul Skeens, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you guys are getting Skeensed.
Man.
Yeah. So, big win for Mexico. Take care of business. Mexico's got to take care of business on Sunday.
I feel divided because I want the U.S. to do good, but I also want Mexico to do good.
Yeah. Can 2 teams get out of pool play in this tournament?
Yeah.
I think so.
I thought it was 2, right?
Yeah, I think 2 teams can. And United States Tuesday has Italy, by the way.
Well, you said I thought it was best 2 plus the top number 3rd.
Yeah, in the first round, the teams in each pool shall be ranked according to the percentage of games won. 2 teams with the highest such percentage in each pool shall advance to the quarterfinal round. If at the end of the pool play in round 1 of the tournament, teams within a pool are tied with the identical winning percentage, the tie shall be broken in the following order: priority, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, 2 teams with the highest such percentage in each pool shall advance to the quarterfinal round as well. So, lots to dive into there with it. So, yeah,
no best thirds?
Yeah.
No best thirds. Okay.
Yeah, so go win some games. Go win some games in the WBC. Am I right? Can the United States win it all? I think the U.S. is primed for it, but Japan scares me with that result. They really do.
I was listening to the Mexican media, and they were saying that Dominican has the best team. U.S. probably is second behind it.
Really?
Japan is third, but they might be the underperformers.
Mm-hmm. Japan be the underperformers?
Yeah, like they might not be. It might be underwhelming.
Interesting.
That's what they were talking about.
I don't know. You can have Shohei and like 8 scrubs, and I would feel worried about them.
Well, I mean, they were just talking about like how they feel about the beginning of the right.
I am looking at the Dominican lineup. Like, listen to this lineup. Just
all right, go for it.
Tatis Jr., Nando at the top, Ketel Marte, very underrated second baseman for Arizona, Juan Soto, Vlad Jr., Manny Machado, Junior Caminero, Julio Rodriguez,
Jesus Christ,
Austin Wells, Luis Perdomo. Short.
Those are all starters in any team.
That's a juggernaut.
Team.
That is a juggernaut. Yeah, and actually now I'm scared of the Dominican Republic. That's probably as loaded as I've ever seen.
The only thing that they have is like sometimes they don't play as a team.
Right.
And that's where it goes bad for them.
You feel like they're a little loosey goosey?
Well, I feel like they have like a lot of large egos and they all want to be
right,
man, but nobody really takes charge.
Right. It's like what's a soccer team like that? Spain.
No, I would.
Who's a national team probably, with a lot of large egos and yet doesn't really have anybody that can. Italy,
because they haven't made a World Cup in a few years.
True.
Or a few. Rounds.
Here's the U.S. lineup tonight. Let me see if it's better than the Dominican Republic. Bobby Witt Jr. Starting at short. Then you got Bryce Harper at first.
Yeah, of course.
Aaron Judge. Kyle Schwarber's in the DH at 4. You got Alex Bregman at 3rd. You got Cal Raleigh playing catcher. Roman Anthony's playing left field tonight. Byron Buxton in center. And Bryce Terang playing second. I kind of feel like the Dominican side's a little bit better than the U.S. side.
Well, at least in names.
Right. I just think the U.S. pitching's better.
Probably.
I would feel better about the United States pitching compared to the Dominican pitching. But, yeah, I'm going to bet on the United States no matter what. I don't care. I'm hyping it. I'm locked in. Can't wait for 5 o'clock. So 45 minutes from now, USA gets going in Houston, taking on Brazil. Let's go beat Brazil in something, huh?
Right.
Let's go beat Brazil in something. Then maybe we beat Brazil in the summer too. Why not? All right. Now we're in pie in the sky world. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we got a Flashback Friday interview for you. Had a conversation with Matt Entz last week, and this is a good one to listen back to. So if you didn't catch that, we got that coming up next, right here on 1430 ESPN, Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Citizens Business Bank is a proud sponsor of the Fresno State Bulldogs. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We proudly support California's thriving small to medium-sized businesses. Our relationship-based approach and straightforward business model set us apart in the financial services industry. We are a banking partner that understands your industry and your company. Whether you're expanding operations or planning for the future, Citizens Business Bank is here to help ensure your banking experience is smooth, convenient, and aligned with your success. My team strives to build long-term banking relationships by getting to personally know you and your business, and then providing you with a wide array of powerful solutions customized to your unique financial needs. Visit cbbank.com to learn how Citizens Business Bank can help contribute to your success. That's cbbank.com. Citizens Business Bank, N.A., Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
You build Pacific Steel Supplies. For every project, residential, commercial, industrial, or agricultural, trust Pacific Steel Supply in Fresno for galvanized and pre-painted corrugated metal sheets and structural steel components. Built to last and designed to be cost-effective. From roofing and fencing to siding projects, count on Pacific Steel Supply. With unbeatable pricing, around-the-clock service, and fast delivery, they help you save time and money. Get your free quote today at Ashland and Parkway, just off or online at PacificSteelSupplyInc.com.
Ed Dinas, the dealer in Dinuba that does. Yes, he does.
Tax season is truck season at Ed Dinas. Every GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverado is priced to move. Step up your tax season savings. Our entire truck inventory is on clearance, so get the most out of your tax return. Strong trade-in values and fast, hassle-free financing. Proud to serve the Valley. Don't wait. Check out the inventory now at EdDinasAutoCenter.com. That's EdDinasAutoCenter.com.
Hey, it's Phil Bonatti from Behind the Bench for my friends at Valley Athletics, the new go-to sports facility in the Central Valley. Founded by Valley legend Vance Wahlberg and former Bulldog volleyball coach Jonathan Winder. Valley Athletics allows athletes to really shine at volleyball, basketball, and pickleball. Visit valleyathletics.co right now to learn more about enrolling in our current volleyball and basketball offerings that include league play. That's valleyathletics.co. Proud sponsors of high school athletics.
We started like you, a small team with a big dream to serve the Valley. 20 years later, FFB Bank is still proudly backing businesses across California and beyond. We've learned a lot about what it takes to grow, and now we're using that experience to make things easier for you. With our Switch and Save offer, we'll cover up to 90 days of payment processing, provide no-cost equipment, and offer competitive rates so your business can keep more of what it earns. And behind it all is a local team that truly understands your goals and is ready to help you reach them. Make the switch. Save with FFB. Visit ffb.bank to get started. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
At Clausen Honda in Fresno, you're not just getting a car, you're stepping into a full service experience. From the latest new Honda models to certified pre-owned vehicles, a cafe to grab your morning coffee, and a team dedicated to making you feel respected and well served. Whether you're trading in, buying, or scheduling service for your ride, Clausen Honda has you covered with transparent financing, a full service center. Drive in today and see how easy getting behind the wheel can be. Clausen Honda at 6346 North Blackstone Avenue in Fresno.
Here at Total Wine & More, our amazing selection means you'll always
love what you find.
Dad, what are you doing here?
Just getting a sneak peek at my Father's Day gifts.
Well, I was thinking of getting you this Barrel Select bourbon.
That's a really nice bottle.
And Total Wine has it at the totally lowest price.
Wow, you always were my favorite.
Thanks, Dad.
Talking to the bourbon, sweetie.
Find what you love what you find. Like the perfect gift for Dad at the perfect price. Only at Total Wine & More.
And drink responsibly. B21.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. We haven't done one of these in a while. It's a flashback Friday because we're just feeling that way here, nostalgic at the start of this month of March. And so we had a lot of interviews these last few weeks, and so wanted to give you a second opportunity to listen to one of them. And one of them is the head coach of the Fresno State football team, Matt Entz, who came on last week's show, and I thought it was a really enlightening, good conversation. So spring camp starts in about 2 weeks for this Bulldog team, and I think this is a really good time to check in with head coach Matt Entz. So we're going to play this interview, Flashback Friday. So here's my interview with head coach Matt Entz. All right, pleased to be joined in studio by our guest here, and it's a pleasure to always have Coach Entz in the building here. And Coach, pleased to have you here on this late February afternoon. Hope you're doing well. How are you doing on this Tuesday night?
Doing good, doing really good. Things are moving ahead. Our guys are working really hard. It's fun to see the off season. There's an additional 25 or so new faces on campus. Fun to see how they acclimate and how they transition into being a Bulldog. And it's been good. Our staff has had some time off in the month of February, still always recruiting right now, and then we're ramping it up. March 20th, we'll kick off spring ball.
Right. The recruiting trail, of course, is always it never seems to stop, right, when it comes to that. And, you want to take a little time after that Snoop Dogg Bowl win, right? You need a little break, but how quickly was the transition to get off and running and going on that recruitment trail there?
Well, there was probably, post the bowl win, there was probably just a couple days where everyone got their feet on the ground back here. I actually went up to the 49ers-Bears game quick. My youngest son's a Bears fan, so we figured we better take advantage of this. But early January, you're back in the office. The transfer portal opened. Trying to continue to make sure that you retain the right people on your current roster, but also how do we supplement, utilize the transfer portal? How do we utilize the junior college and community college network that's in the state of California to help us continue to grow and move this program in the right direction?
Transfer portal is such an interesting time, right? Because thinking about the way your roster you want it to look, and you're hoping you retain the guys you have, and you're looking at new faces to come in. So where, balancing that has got to be such a challenge, right, as a coach. And so tell me a little bit about the breakdown of that challenge for you.
Well, we spent a large amount of time during what I call winter camp, or the time leading up to the bowl game, in working really hard in the retention piece, and making sure that, our veterans, our guys who had a lot of success, that had, more eligibility, yet knew that this was the right place for them. There was people that cared about them, people that saw that we could continue to create value. We could continue to develop them as players. And so prior to the bowl game, a lot of that had already been accomplished. Again, you're never probably 100% sure until they're enrolled back in class, but we felt good about it. And that allowed us then to see kind of where maybe some of the soft spots in the roster were. We had worked really hard to sign, 20 high school kids at the early signing date. We knew half of them were going to enroll early. And that's something that we're going to continue to emphasize, something that we're going to continue to push. If kids can do it, if they're in a place academically, socially, to come early, then let's do it. I mean, I think you look at last year, Braden Walton's a great example of why coming early can help you. Everyone wants to play early. Well, you got to develop early too then.
Yeah.
And so give us 8 months of development versus 8 weeks if you come in June. That's a significant difference. And so he took advantage of it. You're seeing even better things out of him right now. But, it's like I said it earlier, it's fun to see those guys transitioning right now and becoming Bulldogs.
And it's kind of Fresno State doesn't have, in the past, it hasn't seemed to see that many early enrollees, but you're bringing in that kind of culture of get into the room as soon as you can, get this thing rolling. You're developing these guys as quickly as you can, and I think you've emphasized the development here in terms of that. And so when you combine that with such with guys who are, the practices and the way things are going to look for them in the early enrollee period, how impactful is it to make sure you get that development started early, especially with what you envision them to develop into?
Well, I think it's critical. You look at those guys, just the physical development that they're going to have. Coach Ward and his staff do a tremendous job. Our nutritionists on staff do a tremendous job. All of a sudden, there's 10 more pounds of armor that they ever thought they might have. And then the mental development comes along with it, from learning a game from just a different level, a 400 level versus maybe what they were used to or accustomed to at the high school level. And that takes time. And if we can help minimize that learning or spread that learning out over 8 months versus trying to, do it in 8 weeks if they show up in June, there's just a lot better opportunity for them to help us in the 4 games that's allowable to maintain a red shirt, or guys like Harold Duval and Braden Walton, guys who came in and had huge impacts in year one. And I think with just the landscape of college football, when there's always kind of the unknown, you never know when the end of a career might be for someone at your institution. You better take advantage of them and develop them. And if they see they're having success with you, then why would I leave?
Right.
A lot of times guys leave because they aren't having success. They're not playing. They're buried on the depth chart, and they're looking for a spot to play.
And you mentioned with the retention and seeing these guys believe in what they're kind of being a part of. I don't know how specific you can get with, of course, the situation with Josiah Freeman, but maybe in the context of, the ability to retain guys like this, and the ability for guys to say, no, there's a carrot out there that could be dangling, but I am here because I'm here for a reason. Just in that context, describe to me that a little bit.
I think what we try to build, and we use the term transformational a lot within our program, and trying to peel back the layers and really get to know our players. Besides, unfortunately, college athletics has become a little transactional out there, and we're trying to buck the system and be a little bit different. Great real relationships with our players, and I think what you saw with Josiah and any of our players, and again, guys, we're naive if we're sitting here to think he was the only one that might have had some interaction with somebody. But I said it at my press conference: if we can create an environment where they feel like they're part of a community, the football family, if you will. They feel like there's a system in place that helps them get to become the best versions of themselves, and then also that they feel like there's a consistent process, I think we're going to have a really good opportunity to keep kids, or we're really going to make them think hard about why do I want to go start over when I have everything I need right here at Fresno State. And so that's kind of the approach that we've committed ourselves to as a coaching staff and as a support staff. And, knock on wood, it continues to work, and we're able to continue to break down or build those relationships.
Does it put your head on a swivel of the nature of college football and seeing these kind of things emerge in front of your players and say, well, or do you as a coach say, I'm believing in my system, I'm locked into my system, and I trust that I don't need to worry about guys coming from other programs trying to.
Well, if you sit around and worry about everyone else, you're taking the attention off what really needs to matter, and that's the young men on your program. And so I'm going to worry about the ones that want to be here. I'm going to worry about when they're here right now, because that's all I can control. If other people want to continue to reach out to kids and kind of do it in the shadows of the recruiting, that's up to them. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to build relationships. We're going to develop a really good, a premier developmental football program, and one that the Valley can be proud of.
Yeah. Just thinking into the context of this year and the way the roster is constructed, of course, the number one position you were asked about last year was the quarterback position, and everyone in Fresno obviously is curious about it, and you have new faces into that room. You, of course, have some other faces that are familiar with the program, but maybe not the starting side of things. So how do you approach this year and this offseason with the quarterback position, and do you change anything from how you handled it last year, or do you go into the approach that you have?
Well, I think we're going to go into the approach that, there's going to be always competition at everything. I don't think there's a front runner by any means right now. It was our goal that we wanted to have at least 5 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. It was exciting to know that we could get Jaden Mandel back healthy. He kind of tweaked his elbow / shoulder all the way back at the Southern game, and we did a really good job of keeping it quiet because the last thing we wanted people to know was that we're thin at that position. And so, it's fun to see him coming back and really working hard, and the addition of Christian has been positive. Jonathan Kraft was a returner from last year, and you could see during winter camp the growth. All of a sudden, he'd been here since June, and it was December, and that 5-6 months the game was slowing down for him a little bit. And then, the 2 freshmen right now, Jacob and Deegan, both probably are drinking out of a fire hose. Right. It's new terminology, new expectation, new set of standard, but they're both doing a really good job. And what we've seen up to this point validates why they're here. They're both unbelievably talented young men that are going to fit in the program really well.
It's about making the right choice, though, at the beginning of the season, and you have all these months to lead up to it. So, what are the things you look for? You probably covered it last year in terms of the things you look for at a quarterback position, but what are the Matt Entz pillars of, I need this out of my quarterback?
Well, I think first off, are some of the intangible things that there really isn't a rubric to measure leadership, but you better be able to see it. And so they need and sometimes that's one of the most intimidating things of being QB1 is the amount of leadership that is expected from that position. And so, leadership needs to be people that are self-motivated, intrinsically motivated, are critical for me because, I want them to continually have a growth mindset. The ability to communicate, can they take the information that they're getting in meetings and regurgitate it on the field? Can they handle the verbiage, the coach-to-player communication? Now you have someone in your ear, versus maybe you're getting signals from the sideline, and can I handle that volume of information and get it appropriately to the huddle? And then decision-making on the field. Accuracy is always going to be something that I think is critical. We have an NFL-style offense where we're going to have to be able to get in and out of plays, run checks, protection checks. All those things happen at the line of scrimmage within a play clock. And can the young man handle, and work within that structure? And so it's going to be exciting. Spring ball is going to be fun because we're going to dive into those things right away. I've already seen our quarterbacks. They're up there every day at 7 a.m. They're on weekends. They're doing 1-on-1, 7-on-7 already with themselves. Again, the things that I'm looking for. Yeah. Are they self-motivated individuals, and are they looking to be the best version of themselves?
When you flipping to the other side of the ball, of course, people, the praises and the numbers, and Coach Benedetto's getting recognized in terms of what he's done as a coordinator, and that's your side of the ball as well. And when you think of the defensive DNA of like how teams play in college football, you see teams even at the highest level like Indiana be successful with the way their defensive side looks. Is college football more of a defensive oriented side of the sport now, or is it just we are getting guys who are looking at defenses and the way defenses approach the game is just revolutionizing?
Well, I think what you're seeing is the game of college football is cyclic, right?
Right.
It a couple years ago it was score 50 points and and now all of a sudden and with the success Indiana's had and Alabama's have had, where there is a priority on playing good defense and being able to run the football. I think you're seeing some, individuals, coaches, Curt Cignetti, go back to that recipe for success. And, Coach Cignetti being kind of off that Alabama tree, it doesn't shock you that,
right.
When you watch them, and I had an opportunity to go to the Rose Bowl this year and watch them play Alabama. I mean, they ran the same run play. Now they dressed it up formationally with trade shift and motion, but they ran the same play 40 times.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not sexy football, but when you win national championship, you win games. Nobody worries about that. And so, I think that's kind of the how we want to approach the game. If we can play really good defense, we can run the football, then we can minimize the number of possessions that our opponent has. We're going to have elite special teams. John Baxter does a tremendous job. We're all in on special teams, and we saw last year that if we can do those three things consistently, will be really hard to beat.
And you're going into a different conference now and everything that comes with that, right? There's nowhere to hide in the conference schedule anymore with the 8 teams, right? Because losing one, there's a greater weight to that, right, in the conference as opposed to a bulkier Mountain West when people were fighting for the position, right? So what do you anticipate with the 8 teams, the 7 other teams you're going to have to face in that conference, and the way that's condensed and the importance of every week now with that conference schedule, with the weight of the games and how they sit?
Right. I don't know I don't think it'll affect us any, because every game was the most important one. You only get one every week.
Right.
And you've heard me say it numerous times. The goal every week is to go 1-0. And so I think, being in a competitive league like this that has a handful of new coaches too, so there's going to be a lot of learning going on early in the year as you're trying to evaluate what other people have from a roster standpoint, from a talent level, from a schematic standpoint. It'll be exciting, and getting into it, and we'll spend some time this offseason, this spring, starting to work ahead a little bit on some non-conference games and maybe on a conference or 2 opponent, just so we're not behind the 8 ball when we get there, because there are a fair amount of new coaches in the league.
How do you anticipate, because there's a new wrinkle to the schedule and there's the Week 13 flex situation, and as a coach, this is all new and we don't know how it's going to execute in that way. We'll know who the conference opponents are if you happen to be contending for it, but how do you anticipate approaching that Week 13 with what the conference is kind of coming up with in this flex situation?
I'm not 100%. I haven't dove into it a little bit. When they came out with the schedule, I think it was more done, in the league office with administrators.
Right.
I didn't have my 2 cents to what we're doing, but I think it will be unique as you get closer, and all of a sudden you're scrambling to figure out who you're playing. You've already have played everybody, but there'll be other games that you want to get broke down. As the year unfolds, people change. There's attrition, there's injuries, there's bad weather games, there's all these things that impact the level of play, and you want to be able, and sometimes people evolve as the year goes on, and you want to make sure you have enough time to get all that information to your players, and so that way then the product on the field can reflect that.
At least you have a home game slated.
That is and you're exactly right. It's unique. I mean, scheduling travel is expensive enough, and all of a sudden not knowing now where you're going until about 6 days ahead, that is going to cause some issues or some headaches, long nights for some operations people when you're trying to figure out a flight, a hotel, meals, buses, and you're 5 days away from game time.
Other aspects of the schedule, of course, you get USC at the beginning of the year, and this is a program
Yep.
you're familiar with. And,
Yep.
you know, as a coach, of course, you want to ignore all the other storylines that come in, but with an opponent that you're familiar with Coach Lincoln Riley and that program, and being the beginning of the year, it's kind of the first opponent you really think about a whole lot because it's the first game. So
Right.
how you approach a game like that, is there any advantage to you being in that program for a year, or how do you look at that game when you approach it for week one?
Well, it's going to be tremendously challenging. Coach Riley's done a really good job of elevating that roster over the course of the last couple of years, and had an opportunity to kind of see it firsthand. They're going to continue to evolve. They know that I was there for a year on the defensive side, so had an opportunity to see some of the offense and how they operate. Defensively, it's going to be different, with the hiring of Coach Patterson. So there'll be plenty of us peeling back different layers, watching games, trying to determine kind of where they're at. And then the influx of players. I mean,
right.
They had a big group of veterans last year, and they're going to have a young group, a young, talented football team this year. Jade Mayava, the quarterback, is tremendous. I thought when I was there, he not only was he very talented, but he's a class individual, and so I know he'll be ready to go.
Sac State upgrades now to the FBS on your schedule too. So is there anything to that change, or are you just excited that the schedule boosts a little bit now that they're in the MAC, and now this is not an FCS versus FBS conversation of weight of opponent, but does that change anything in terms of that? Or?
No, not really in my mind. It's just the next game, and we need to make sure that we're thoroughly prepared for it. I imagine there'll be a little bit more hype that surrounds that game now that they're an FBS program, both schools in the Valley here per se. But our approach, our process doesn't matter who we're playing or where we're playing. We're still going to go about our business the right way.
Spring ball coming up pretty soon here, of course. When do the guys get ready, really ramped up here now?
The week of the week of February, or not February, excuse me, March 15th or something like that, 16th.
Couple weeks.
We get rolling with some more football activities right now. We're just strength and conditioning, some meetings, kind of review some things, if we can learn from some of our errors and mistakes from a year ago in 2025, and trying to get some of our new players up to speed right now is our process. But one of the unique scheduling, this is the first time I've ever done it as a head coach, is we're going to do a couple 4 days before spring break and then come back and finish, just because of the timing of spring break this year and the Easter holiday. If you did it all after spring break, you were practicing into May, and I didn't want to do that. And I felt like because of the length of our season, going from July 23rd to December 27th, I wanted us to get back in the weight room. I wanted us to become a bigger, faster, stronger version of ourselves. And to do that, we needed a good 6-7 weeks. And so, this may be the only time we ever do it. We'll find out.
You got a coaching clinic coming up as well. I wanted to push that for you.
I love it. I appreciate you doing that. We're excited.
What can people? It's April 10th and 11th at Table Mountain. And what can people anticipate with that?
On the 10th, it'll be a full day of high school, NFL, our staff, presentations, board work, video, chalk talk. We will have. I'll speak in the evening. We do have a keynote speaker coming in as well. And then on Saturday, we're going to turn it around and we'll have practice that day. We're going to do some on-field demonstrations, real, ground, baseline football stuff is what we want to create. This clinic is about fundamentals, technique. It's very limited on philosophy. We don't want philosophy. We want the basics. We want to be great at simple here at Fresno State, and that's what we're trying to promote with this. And so our coaches will do some on-field demonstrations. Then all the coaches, the high school coaches, junior college coaches, any coaches is invited. Then we'll have practice. We'll do some of our team building stuff. It'll be a more physical practice that day, so they get a really opportunity to see kind of how we go about our business. And hopefully it's a good, 24, 36 hours of football. Table Mountain's been outstanding and willing to let us host it up there. Creates kind of a cool venue. They got a great area for this. And the cost is $30 an individual. If you have a staff of 6 or more, it's $150. So very, inexpensive, but you're going to get a lot of great speakers, great opportunity to be around our staff, dive into some things.
It's also collaborative, the coaching sphere, right? In terms of that, you get rewarded in that sense too, right? When you talk to these guys, you've been around the Valley for a year now, right?
Right, and we hope. I mean, we're making an effort to call every head coach of every high school in the Valley, 400 some high schools, and personally invite them because we know there's young men out there that can play for the Bulldogs, and we just need to get more contact time with these high school coaches, and this is another opportunity for us to do that.
The year end basically now, a little over now with the calendar. Does it feel a little easier now?
There's not any new days anymore.
Right.
Now there's some repeat days. I'm better prepared probably to know some of the hoops you got to jump through. Just like at being at any university, there's red tape. There's hoops you got to jump through to get from point A to point B. Have a better understanding, a better relationship with my football team right now. Really excited. Unfortunately, we lost one staff member this offseason. Zach Crabtree went to Purdue and had an existing relationship with the offensive coordinator. So super excited for him and his wife. But for us to retain the bulk of our staff, really excited about that. And again, you've heard me say, consistency beats chaos. And if we can continue to operate within that consistent world, and there's so many things that are trying to impact you.
Right.
But if we can stay consistent here at Fresno State, we have a chance to be successful.
Coach, we can't wait to see what this team looks like, of course, and how it all put together. And it all starts here in the spring, so we can't wait to see it all get started there.
You bet.
And appreciate you stopping by.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. And again, you guys are always welcome to come to practice. And appreciate Red Wave out there listening.
Absolutely. Coach Ed's here on 1430 ESPN. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more Behind the Bench on 1430 ESPN.
When Jeff Thiessen and Lance Duker started Thiessen Duker Modern Wealth Management in 2003, they had a simple mission: to make every life they touch better. They established Thiessen Duker as an independent firm, not tied to the restrictions of one Wall Street company, so their clients could have access to any investment products that were right for them, and Thiessen Duker could serve their clients the way they wanted to be served. They've done other things differently too, from investing in advanced financial planning technology to implementing a team approach with advisors working together to develop client strategies. And from day one, Thiessen Duker has shared its success with local organizations, making a difference in people's lives right here at home. If you need a financial advisor, or if you are a financial advisor and would like to know more about how Thiessen Duker could make your life better, please visit thiessenduker.com. The advisors of Thiessen Duker Modern Wealth Management are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
ESPN Fresno is proud to bring back the Student Athlete of the Week. Each week, we'll honor a local high school standout for their performance on the field, in the gym, or on the court. It's our way of celebrating the hard work, dedication, and talent of Valley athletes who give it their all. And it all leads to Student Athlete of the Year. Do you have an athlete you believe is worthy of this award? Enter them in at 1430ESPNFresno.com today. The Student Athlete of the Week, shining a spotlight on the stars of tomorrow.
At Helena Agri Enterprises, we've been committed to helping farmers achieve success since 1957. In the years to come, Helena will continue to be there with the people, products, and knowledge to help increase your productivity for greater returns. The way we see it, your success is the only measure of the work we do together. To find out how Helena can help you achieve or exceed your production goals, contact your local Helena representative or visit us at helenaagri.com.
Jason Aldean. Songs About Us Tour 2026. Powered by Patriot Mobile. Saturday, August 15th, Save Mart Center. With Chase Matthew. And Mackenzie Carpenter. Jason Aldean. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com and LiveNation.com. Jason Aldean. Live.
This tax season, make your refund go further at Fashion Furniture. Get up to $250 instantly towards your furniture purchase. From living rooms to bedrooms, even new outdoor furniture for spring, now is the time to save. Make your tax refund go further with up to $250 in instant savings towards your purchase. Only at Fashion Furniture. There's nothing like it in all of California.
Want to
work somewhere fun, flexible, and rewarding? Me and Ed's is hiring. We're looking to expand our team with full and part-time positions at over 40 locations. Join our growing company as a delivery driver or valued team member today. For more information on job descriptions or to apply, go online at meandeds.com or visit your nearest location. Me and Ed's is hiring. Fill out an application.
Citrus season is in full swing. When harvest pressure is on, Kubota delivers dependable power, easy operation, and the performance growers rely on in the Grove. There's still time to get the right tractor this season at Pioneer Equipment, your authorized Kubota dealer. With Fresno and Reedley locations, Pioneer Equipment, your authorized Kubota dealer, has the equipment, parts, and service you need when timing matters most. Make this citrus season count. Visit Pioneer Equipment, your authorized Kubota dealer today at pioneerequipmentca.com.
Behind the bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. What a great show. And we're approaching that weekend, aren't we? Huh? Approaching that weekend. Just a reminder that we are airing Laker basketball tonight, 7:15 pregame with a 7:30 tip-off between the Lakers and the Pacers. Jorge, Lakers fall to Denver last night, and they are who we thought they were, huh? Just when I thought we could count on them for at least one good, decent victory, they lose 120 to 113. So, go figure.
It was a close game, but at the end of the day, they just,
close means nothing. Close means nothing. Jokic with 28, 13, and 12. That's just absurd. Jamal Murray with 28, 7 as well. Luka only 27, 11, and 8. That's ridiculous to say when it's only 27. But LeBron James does pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most field goals in NBA history when he made his third make. He made 7 shots last night. So LeBron officially passes Kareem for that record, which is NBA history. But
one of those longevity records.
You know, aggregator, right? LeBron James aggregator.
That's fine. I mean, he's making them, so.
He's making them. He certainly is. We'll see. Lakers probably should win tonight. You'd hope so. If the Lakers lose tonight, then you're,
the Knicks?
No, the Pacers tonight.
Pacers, that's right.
Pacers tonight. Lakers 9.5-point favorites tonight. Lakers 23-6 versus teams below 500 this season. So only the Thunder and the Spurs are better against teams below 500.
Knicks is Sunday, I think.
Knicks is Sunday, and I was going to get to that. Sharks in action tonight against the Blues. This is the start of their back-to-back, starting with St. Louis tonight. Then they have the New York Islanders tomorrow. And just looking ahead at this 2-game stretch for the Sharks, they've won 3 in a row, looking to continue pace throughout. They're, of course, they got some games in hand, which is a nice place to be. But you need a little help if you want to get through it here. Sharks are minus 135 right now with a favorite. Over-under at 6.5 right now for the Sharks game tonight. They're 30-25-4, winning a thrilling game against the Canadiens back on Tuesday. Now they play Friday. Macklin Celebrini at 87 points this season. 3 points shy, becoming the 7th teenager in NHL history to record 90 points in a season. Can he get to 3 tonight? Let's see if we can get to 3 tonight. That'd be something. This Blues team is very vulnerable. Currently 9-17-3 record, only a 362 win percentage on the road this season. You got to believe the Sharks have to beat the Blues tonight with that kind of figure. Sharks play the Islanders tomorrow. That's going to be a great one. So we're going to have both games on 790. Sharks Blues tonight, 6:30 pregame, 7 p.m. puck drop. Sharks and Islanders tomorrow, 6:30 pregame with a 7 p.m. puck drop. Of course, we have Paul Meadors Show, Central Valley Sports Report, live from 10 a.m. to noon on Saturday. Tomorrow, just saw Paul. He's got a great lineup tomorrow, getting you all set for the state regional semifinals tomorrow. Lots of different guests coming on the show there. We also have some college basketball. Auburn, Alabama wrapping up their regular season. Then we're getting into conference tournament play next week. Probably do some fun little conference tournament action as well. Lakers, Knicks, 12:15 Sunday with a 12:30 tip-off between those two teams. See if the Lakers can finally beat someone in the top 3 of a conference. If that's the case, then maybe things turn. I don't know. Knicks don't really give me the idea that beating them solidifies you as a contender, but we'll see. Then we'll be back Monday, Sportsline Bulldog Hour, Tony D, 2 to 3, and then we'll have my show from 3 to 6 p.m. on Monday. We're going to have 4 shows in a row on next week's docket. Then Friday, I think we have a FPU baseball doubleheader that we're airing, so unable to have my show Friday due to manpower and machinery. So Monday through Thursday next week, Jorge, it sounds like. And then we're on to March Madness in a couple weeks.
Yeah, some good shows coming up, huh?
Good shows coming up. I got some interviews in the works for next week, including new Fresno Grizzlies GM coming on show as well. So that's going to be on Monday, and a lot more as well as we react to the sports weekend. So, Jorge, you ready for the sports weekend? What are you watching real quick? What are you watching?
F1's back.
F1's back?
F1 during Australia, so it's going to be a late night, early morning for me.
All right.
And then Premier League, wrapping up.
Yeah.
And
WBC. You got Arnold Palmer, golf tournament this weekend. So lots to get into. Fresno State baseball, Fresno State basketball.
Everything's starting already.
Here we go, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the weekend.
Time of spring.
All right. We'll see you Monday at 3 o'clock.
My wife and I don't need advice on how to create wealth. We need it.